I've lived in that house for 3 years, and until that night, the loudest sound I'd ever heard at 4 in the morning was my German Shepherd Rex snoring like a lawnmower. That changed at 4:07 a.m. The first sound wasn't a knock. It was a kick. A full-force, heel-first kick that rattled the entire front door like someone was trying to break into my house. Rex was on his feet instantly. So was my second dog, Athena, a Belgian Malinois trained for protection work. She didn't bark right away. She did something worse. She went silent. Anyone who's ever worked with trained K9s knows silence means focus. My heart started hammering in my chest as I rolled out of bed, adrenaline flooding my system. I grabbed my phone off the nightstand and glanced at the clock. 4:07 a.m. Then came another kick, harder, followed by a woman's voice screaming through the door. "Open up right now. Ho business." HOA. At 4 in the morning. I didn't even live in a gated community. It was a standard suburban neighborhood with an HOA that mostly sent emails about lawn height and mailbox colors. No emergency, no overnight authority, no master keys. And yet this woman kicked my door like the house was on fire. Rex let out a deep, bone-rattling growl that echoed through the hallway. The voice outside snapped instantly. "I can hear dogs. You need to lock them up immediately." I stepped into the hallway barefoot, phone in my hand, hit record, and whispered to the dogs. "Stay, watch." They stayed. The next kick hit so hard the door frame creaked. That's when I shouted back. "Who the hell are you and why are you kicking my door?" There was a pause. Then the voice came back, shrill, angry, entitled. "This is Linda Watkins, president of the HOA. I have a master key, and if you don't open this door right now, I will come in." That sentence didn't just cross a line. It nuked it. Master key. At 4 a.m. Breaking and entering. Threatening forced entry. And she said it like she was proud. I moved closer to the door but stayed behind the wall, out of sight. "You do not have a master key to my house," I said calmly. "Step away from my door." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, honey, we absolutely do. This is an HOA emergency inspection. You're violating multiple regulations, and you will comply." Another kick. This time the dogs exploded. Rex slammed into the door from the inside, barking like thunder. Athena snarled, low, controlled, dangerous. Linda screamed, "Control your animals. This is illegal." That's when I saw the shadow under the door move closer. She was reaching for the handle, and that's when I called 911. The dispatcher picked up on the second ring. 911, what's your emergency?" "Yes," I said, keeping my voice steady. "There's a woman claiming to be HOA president kicking my door at 4 a.m. and threatening to enter my home." The dispatcher paused. "Is she inside the residence?" "Not yet," I said, "but she claims to have a master key." Outside, Linda was now pounding instead of kicking. "I know you're in there. Open this door or I'll have you fined into oblivion." The dispatcher said, "Sir, officers are on the way. Do not open the door." That was easy advice to follow. Linda apparently didn't like being ignored. "I'm coming in now," she yelled. "This is HOA authority." I watched the doorknob turn. It didn't open, because she didn't have a key. What she did have was a fake sense of power and zero understanding of boundaries or laws. She yanked on the handle again, then again, harder. Rex slammed into the door again, barking inches from the wood. Linda shrieked like she'd touched a live wire. "Get those dogs away from the door." I raised my voice. "Step away from my house. Police are on the way." That should have ended it. It didn't. "You can't call the police on me," she snapped. "I run this neighborhood." That sentence right there told me everything. She wasn't scared. She wasn't confused. She was drunk on authority. Linda stepped back, and through the peephole, I finally saw her. Middle-aged white woman. Pajamas. HOA windbreaker thrown over the top. Clipboard under one arm, phone in the other hand. And no master key. She raised her phone and started recording my door. "This homeowner is refusing a lawful HOA inspection," she narrated loudly. "He is harboring dangerous animals." Dangerous animals. Inside my own house, at 4 in the morning. Athena growled again, deeper this time. I cracked the door open exactly 2 inches, chain still on. Linda jumped back like I'd pulled a gun. "You can't open that door with those dogs." I stared at her through the crack. "You have 10 seconds to get off my property." She scoffed. "You don't give me orders. I have authority over this property." "No," I said slowly. "You have authority over paint colors." Her face twisted with rage. "I will enter this home." She reached for the chain. That's when Athena lunged, not through the door, not at her, just enough to slam her weight against the inside, making the chain snap tight and the dog's teeth flash in the gap. Linda screamed and fell backward onto the porch. And right then, red and blue lights lit up the street. 2 patrol cars rolled up fast. Linda scrambled to her feet, suddenly calm, suddenly professional. She ran toward the officers. "Thank God you're here," she cried. "This man threatened me with attack dogs." I stayed inside, door closed, dogs secured behind me, phone still recording. An officer approached my door. "Sir, can you step outside?" "I will," I said, "once you remove her from my porch." The officer looked back at Linda. "Ma'am, step away from the residence." She protested immediately. "This is HOA business. I have a master key." The officer cut her off. "No HOA has a master key to private residences." Linda froze. "What?" The second officer turned to her. "Why are you here at 4 a.m.? She stammered. "Emergency inspection." "For what?" "Unauthorized animals." The officer looked at me. "How many dogs do you have, sir?" "2, I said. "Registered, licensed, trained." "And were they outside?" "No." The officer nodded slowly, then looked back at Linda. "So you kicked his door?" She snapped. I knocked. The officer glanced at the dent in my door. "That's a kick." Linda's confidence started cracking. "Well, he refused to open." "At 4 a.m., the officer said flatly. Then came the fatal mistake. Linda pulled out her phone. "I have video of him threatening me." She shoved the phone at the officer. The officer watched silently. What the video actually showed was Linda screaming, yanking my door handle, and yelling about entering my home. The officer handed the phone back. "Ma'am," he said, "you just recorded yourself attempting unlawful entry." Her face went pale. "That's not—" "And," the second officer added, "we have a homeowner recording the same incident." I stepped outside then, dogs behind me, calm, controlled. Athena sat at my heel. Rex stood alert. Linda took one look and started yelling again. "They're going to attack!" Neither dog moved. The officers didn't even flinch. That's when the cuffs came out. Linda lost it. "You can't arrest me!" she screamed. "I'm HOA president!" The officer calmly took her wrist. "You're being detained for attempted unlawful entry and disturbing the peace." She tried to pull away. That escalated it. The cuffs clicked shut. Linda started sobbing. "This is harassment. I know the mayor." The neighbors' porch lights flicked on one by one. Doors opened. Phones came out. The officer read her rights. I stood there barefoot on my lawn, watching karma work overtime. Linda was placed in the back of the cruiser. Before the door closed, she looked at me. "This isn't over," she hissed. I smiled. "Oh," I said, "it is." Linda was charged. Trespassing, attempted unlawful entry, harassment. The HOA emergency meeting that followed was legendary. Turns out Linda had no authority, no master keys, and a long history of intimidation. She was removed as president, fined, and slapped with a restraining order. My door got replaced, paid for by the HOA. And Rex and Athena? They got steak that night. Because sometimes, the best security system doesn't need a master key. It just needs teeth and the law on its side.